Good afternoon. Welcome to Northern Maine Productions. It's engine teardown time. This is the 8 horsepower Briggs & Stratton that I took off from my 3081 Snapper. I believe this is around a 1990 model year engine. It's a 1970 whatever. It's a vertical shaft engine, not a horizontal shaft. It's actually standing up on its end here right now. So I've taken some of the smaller pieces and parts off in it, but I figured I'd save the good stuff for you guys. First, the order of business, get the flywheel off in it. So I'm going to set the camera down here and I'm going to commence to beating the shit out of this. I did actually take the clutch off of it. So I guess the key to this is to get a socket that actually fits down over this crankshaft and hit on that instead of the crankshaft, so you're not destroying the end of the crank. And then we gotta find something here to pry with. Right there, part. So you just gotta kind of hold gentle pressure on this, steady pressure, and just there it is. That's all there is to it right there. Yes, sir. That's the first time I've ever had the flywheel off that engine. So, I'm going to show you guys something here. This is something to check before you tear it apart. The motor's got a fairly good amount of end play in the crankshaft. So I'm going to take the alternator off of this thing before this thing gets flipped over on the alternator and destroys it. The alternator was indeed still working on this. It's just 2 bolts. This is just a 35 watt alternator. So I'm looking here underneath of the cover, and it's very evident that this engine was built with magnetron ignition. There is no cover or no provisions for the ignition points under here. I shouldn't say there's no provisions for it. Nothing's drilled out. It's a coiled stock hard. Holy. That's been on there. Dare 300. Holy cow. Well, it's not in the best of shape, but like I said, it was working. It's first place I'm going to go here is with the cylinder head. I'm curious to see what's in here. Betting this is going to be pretty ugly in here. Because oh my God. That engine is completely destroyed. That engine is totally destroyed. There ain't even much there. Look at the cylinder wall. Holy crap. Yeah. Holy. Yeah. That looks to me like that ate a wrist pin. Looks to me like it ate a wrist pin clip. Jeez, no wonder that thing's been smoking so bad for so long. Well, that certainly sucks. So I guess this engine's never going to run again. Let's take the base off of it and see what the inside of it looks like. So full of junk. I would have never anticipated it was messed up that friggin' bad. Holy cow. I wonder what the whole thing is. That socket just plain don't fit in that hole. By the looks of things. Fit in that one either. Try it. It's alright. I got tools here that'll do that. Nice old Milwaukee power ratchet here. I think I got them all in here. This is going to be a revelation moment for me because I've always wondered if this was a synchro balance engine or not. We're going to find out right now. It is a synchro balance engine. I thought it was. So that's what the synchro balance looks like in a small 8 horsepower engine. This is the first time I ever tore one of these apart. I need to get the camshaft out of there. Camshaft looks good. I'm not even going to bother trying to keep all this stuff in order because I don't think it's going to matter. Don't think this is going to matter anymore. This thing is probably going to be junk. I want to get the piston out of that thing. That's what I'm after. I want to see how bad the piston looks. Unbend these little tabs here somehow. see if I can locate a 1/2 inch wrench here. I had wrenches with me outdoors yesterday working on my under mower out there, and I don't know what the frig I did with them. So that's not gonna work. I don't know that I've got. I don't have a lot here. I don't have a lot here at home for tools. All my tools are at work. That's a 1/2 inch 3/8 drive. Boys, ain't that one right there? Bear to get at. Holy cow. Friggin' synchro balancers right in the friggin' road. One thing I can see about this engine, looking at the lock on the connecting rod here, is that it's never been apart before. This. That's better. Junkins. Can you tell how long it's been since I pulled one of these engines apart? A long time. Geez, bearing surface looks really good in that connecting rod. That's gonna be a son of a bitch if that's all what happened to that, something go in that piston. This engine didn't necessarily sound that bad. Let's see if we can push the piston up out of there. Oh my God, look at that. Wow. That thing appears to have gotten really hot, probably. That is gap is that. Yeah, God almighty, the ring gap ain't even that bad. But I don't know what the heck happened here. I'm gonna bring that light down here. That is just absolutely total right out. Holy crap, that got hot. Wow. Same thing on that side. That side's, jeez, that side is deeply pitted. Wow. Take the compression ring out of there. My good Lord. Yeah. That's junk. I was gonna use a magnet on that and test that, make sure that wasn't an cast iron sleeve in it, but I know it's not. It's an aluminum sleeve. Old aluminum bore engine. Well, that's really cutting too bad, I guess. That's junk. That is absolute junk. I'm gonna set you guys back down here for a second. So I'm gonna see if I can prop the valves open on this. I want to see what the valve guides feel like. Valve guides are a little bit worn, but not terrible. So, let me try. Let's see if we can get this mess out of here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's the funny knocking noise I was hearing. That synchro balancer's got a lot of slop in it. Yep. Crankshaft's probably alright, but yeah. Holy crap. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but that thing's all garbage, all of it. No rebuilding that engine. The biggest problem with trying to rebuild one of these now is there's no parts available for them from Briggs. You got to buy an aftermarket kit for it. I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do though is I'm going to take that other 8 horsepower engine apart and see what kind of shape that one's in. I'm relatively sure that engine is not synchro balanced, so it's gone too bad because the crankshaft's in good shape other than the bushings are bad and that synchro balancer. And to be honest with you, probably that wouldn't matter anyways, because I mean it didn't really knock very much anyways. I mean it knocked worse when it was idling than it did revved up. You know, eventually the thing's going to blow apart. you know, you don't want that to happen. I'm surprised it didn't, because I had this thing turned up quite high. I was turning this about 4,100 RPMs. Well, I don't think there's any point in tearing this apart any further, because this thing is nothing but junk. This thing's completely, utterly totaled. I'm sad. I've got a lot of years of dependable running out of this thing, but it was like, apparently it was like that when I got it, and it just continually got worse and worse and worse as time went on. And those big deep gouges in the cylinder, that would explain why it was smoking really bad when it's idling. And that is because when the butterfly closes on the throttle on the carburetor, the vacuum increases. When you got an increase in vacuum in your combustion chamber, it's pulling the oil up by the rings, and with those Grand Canyons in there, why it was pulling gallons up through there instead of drops. So, well, I'm really sad to see that, but I guess it is what it is. At least I answered my question. At least I found out what the engine was synchro balance. I always figured it was, because that engine ran really, really smooth. So, well, I guess this gives you an idea how many hours are on this whole thing. Look at how badly stove all to hell that ring gear is on that flywheel. That baby's been started and shut off all the times. Tooth missing there. It ain't been missing for very long. It probably happened one of the times the battery got dead and the starter jammed on it. The starter that was on this machine, on this engine, had a steel gear on it. It was an old starter. It was probably the original, probably an original one from back in the 70s probably. It was either a steel or aluminum gear, but evidently that ain't what was supposed to be on this flywheel, because it's worn bad. Well, I guess that's it. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to box this stuff up. I got a big box here behind me on the floor, and probably this stuff will all go to the dump, but stuff's no good. Well, y'all have a good one. Bye bye.